Hello, my name is Pragati and in today's class I will be teaching Rocket 3. So let's begin. Sit in a comfortable cross-legged position with your feet right below your knees. Spine long, shoulders rolled back. Close your eyes and let's tune in. Let's take a few deep breaths in here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Few more on your own at your own pace. And after the last exhale, you can gently open your eyes and let's begin. Interlace your fingers, stretch your palms out in front of you and raise your arms above your head. Parvatasana. Now maybe tilt slightly to the right, keep the stretch in your arms. Feel the stretch on the left side of your body. Inhale, come back to the center, and as you exhale, tilt towards the left. And inhale, come back to the center and release your arms. Let's do a seated twist. Inhale, raise your arms up, and as you exhale, twist to the right. With every inhalation, extend the spine up. And with every exhalation, deepen the twist. And inhale, come back to the center and switch sides. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, twist to the left. Keep breathing. And inhale, come back to the center. Let's do a few cat-cows. So come to a tabletop position. Make sure your wrists are below your shoulders and your knees are below your hips. Your spine is parallel to the mat. And as you inhale, navel down, look up. And as you exhale, tuck your chin in and look towards your navel, round your back. Inhale, navel towards the ground. And as you exhale, round your back, chin tucked in. 2 more of these on your own. And now let's do a few wrist exercises. We need to warm up our wrists because Rocket 3 involves a couple of arm balances. So let's begin by going a little bit forward so that your shoulders are coming ahead of your wrists. Now take your palms and point them backwards and move your shoulders to the back. Now let's go side to side. One more very good exercise is to have your palms down, put weight into your palms and try to keep your fingers on the mat but just raise the heels of your palms. You should feel this in the top forearm. This is quite difficult, but it's a good exercise to get our arms ready. One more is place the back of your palms flat on the mat and try to go lower, try to get your chin towards the mat. Few of these. And you can release. And let's come to the top of the mat and begin with some sun A's. So stand with your feet together. Inhale, raise your arms up, Urdhva Hastasana, look at your arms. Exhale, Uttanasana, look at your navel. Inhale, flat back, Ardha Uttanasana. And as you exhale, step or jump back into Chaturanga. It's okay to keep your knees down on the mat. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Your shoulder blades are moving in, shoulders are moving away from each other, hips are moving towards the ceiling. Navel is pushing back towards the spine. You're forming an inverted V. Take a few breaths in here. Inhale. Exhale. And bend your knees, get ready. As you inhale, step forward, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, look up at your thumbs. Exhale, Samastitihi. Let's do another one. Inhale, arms up, look at your thumbs. Exhale, fold down, look at your navel. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Chaturanga. If you want, knees down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Feel free to move your body. Maybe walk your dog. It's okay to keep your knees bent if that feels more comfortable. Inhale. Exhale. Bend your knees, get ready. As you inhale, step or jump forward, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, look up at your thumbs. Exhale, Samastitihi. One more. Inhale, look at your thumbs. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. As you exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Stay here for a few breaths. Feel free to go into a three-legged dog. Maybe bend the top knee. Maybe take the other leg up. And one more breath. Bend your knees, get ready, look forward. Half fold. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Samastitihi. Now let's do some sun B's. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg forward, Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot forward, warrior 1. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Couple of breaths here. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Bend your knees, get ready. As you inhale, step forward, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, Samasthiti. Two more of these. This is just the warm up. So, inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg forward, Veerbhadrasana 1. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot forward, Veerbhadrasana 1. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's stay here for a few breaths. Work on getting your forehead towards the mat, keeping your hips up high. Keep opening your shoulders. Deep breaths here. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Bend your knees, get ready. Inhale, look forward. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, Samasthiti. Last one. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot forward, warrior 1. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot forward, warrior 1. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Couple of deep breaths in here. Downward facing dog seems like a resting pose now. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Bend your knees. Inhale, get ready. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Utkatasana. Stay here for 3 breaths. Keep going lower. Interlace your fingers above your head and go into Ardha Utkatasana, getting your chest over your thighs and going as low as possible. And now come down. Option to stay in Malasana, that is the yogi squat, or maybe you can go into the first arm balance crow. Get your knees as high as possible into your armpits. Maybe raise one leg up, maybe raise the other leg up. Maybe inhale, get both the legs up and stay here for 3 breaths. And you can go into Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now inhale, right foot forward, warrior one. Exhale, align your feet, warrior two. Inhale, straighten the front knee. Exhale, Trikonasana. Look up at your left arm. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, and as you exhale, get your back leg towards the left a little bit. Place your left palm on the ground, right palm on the top. Parivritta Trikonasana. Stay here for a breath. And as you exhale, bend your front knee, align your feet. Inhale, raise your left arm up, Parshva. Externally rotate the top arm. Stay here for a breath. And as you inhale, place the back knee down. And as you exhale, twist to the right. Parivritta Parshva. Feel free to raise your back leg up. And as you exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now we can come into, I'm going to turn because I want to use the wall. You can feel free to do the same. Come down, take your elbows down from down dog and come into dolphin pose. Option to stay here, or maybe you can kick up a leg and go into Pincha Mayurasana. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you can release. And let's do a vinyasa. And let's do the same thing on the other side. So left foot forward, warrior one. Exhale, align your feet, warrior two. Inhale, straighten the front knee. And as you exhale, Trikonasana. Stay here for a breath. And as you exhale, pyramid pose. Take the right leg towards the right. Raise the left arm up. Parivritta Trikonasana. Stay here for a breath. And as you exhale, place the left arm down, align your feet, bend the front knee. And as you inhale, take your top arm above your head. Parshva. Stay here for a breath. And as you put the back knee down, inhale, raise your arms up. And as you exhale, twist to the left. Keep the back knee down, or if you find stability, maybe you can raise it up. Parivritta Parshva. And as you exhale, Vinyasa. Again, option to come down into dolphin pose, or if you have Pincha Mayurasana in your practice, feel free to kick up for a count of 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And let's go into Vinyasa. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now feel free to get your arms a little bit closer. Go into a high plank and push your palms back. Hold your big toes with your peace fingers and fold over. Stay here. You're placing more weight in the balls of the feet. Another option is also to go into Padangusthasana. Place the full palm under each of the feet and work on getting your chest and your abdomen over your thighs. It's okay to keep your knees bent. Stay here. And very gently, you can come up. Keep looking down very slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Come up. And let's do some toe walks. So come on your tippy toes, raise your arms up. It's a balancing act. Try to raise one knee up. Stay up for as long as you can and then step down. And keep doing this until you get to the top of the mat. And now step back and let's come into Samukkonasana. So try to take your feet as wide apart as you can. Get your hips as low as possible towards the ground. Maybe your palms touch the ground. Maybe your elbows come on the ground. Work on getting as low as possible. Make sure the feet are in line with the hips. This is like a 180-degree angle that we are forming with the two legs. And you can release. And let's go into Hanumanasana or the front split. If that is not in your practice, feel free to do a half split. So like this. And working on deepening this. Or if you have it in your practice, very gently, listening to your body, try to deepen this as much as you can. Trying to keep your torso as straight as you can. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. And let's do the other side. Feel free to use blocks here under your hips if that is more comfortable. Also wearing socks and trying this on a wooden flooring helps. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you can release. And let's come into a comfortable middle split. We are going into Upavishta Konasana. So if you want to deepen this further, place your palm, one palm in front and one palm at the back. Raise your hips up and keep your feet where they are and just move your hips forward. So once you find your stability, inhale, raise your arms up, and as you exhale, let's fold over, trying to get our elbows on the mat. Feel free to make use of blocks here. The goal is to get our chest towards the mat. Don't be in a hurry to put your head, don't round your back. Work on getting your chin and your chest towards the mat. Feel free to stretch your arms out in front and keep deepening the twist. Maybe you can grab your big toes and work on deepening this twist, deepening this fold. Make sure you're breathing and listen to your body. And you can come up. Now let's do Parivritta Upavishta Konasana. So place your right palm below your left thigh. Try to get your right elbow down. Raise your left arm up and try to fold sideways towards your right leg. Stay here. Inhale, come back to the center. And let's do the other side. So place the left arm under your right thigh. Maybe come a little bit lower and raise the right arm up and fold sideways towards your left leg. Keep both the legs straight and breathe. Keep opening the chest towards the ceiling. And you can release. For the next pose, we are going to do some Mula Vibandha checkups. So have your legs at 90 degrees. Place both the palms on either side of your right leg and take your chest towards your thigh and just lift your hip up and put it down. 2, put it down. 3, down. And let's do the other side. Lift up, down. It requires using your Mula Bandha, which is right here. It requires that deep Mula Bandha. The idea is it will burn your quads actually, so you need to really strengthen your Mula Bandha and your quads in order to be able to do that. Now let's repeat the right side, and this time raise the leg up. And let's do the other side. We feel this deep quad burn here. 1, 2, 3. Another idea that I have to be able to do this using momentum is come on your back, have your feet in the position so your quads are moving towards your trunk, and you're going to move back and forth like this, and then maybe use the momentum to try to get our hips and our legs above the ground. This needs practice and a lot of strength, so it will come. I'm working on it myself. Now for the next pose, let's come into, let's do a vinyasa. And let's do some balancing poses now. We'll do variations of Uttita Hasta Padangushtasana. So balance on your left leg, raise your right leg up. It's okay to keep it bent if that gives you better stability, or if possible, maybe you can grab the big toes of the right foot. Maybe you can take the right foot towards the right as you look over your left shoulder. And try to keep the leg up without holding. and you can release. Let's do the other side. So grab the left big toe with your peace fingers. Stay here. Maybe take this foot to the left. Look over your right arm. Get the foot back at the center. Try to keep it there. And you can release. Let's do another pose, Natarajasana, or the dancer's pose. So place your weight on the left foot. Grab your right foot from the inside. Have a drishti or a focal point in front to focus on. And work on lifting that back knee up. Slightly arching your back. Maintaining your balance. Maybe you can fold down and go into Chapasana. Pull the back knee up. Try to deepen this split between your legs. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you can release. And let's do the other side. So grab your left foot from inside for Natarajasana. Maybe you can bend your standing knee a little bit. Start folding forward on your fingertips, right fingertips, and then keep working on taking the back knee up towards the ceiling. Opening up the hips. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you can release. And let's come into Vinyasa. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now either you can step, or if you have Lolasana in your practice, you can take your feet through your hands and come into a Dandasana position or the staff pose. Now we are going to do Paschimottanasana or the forward fold. So work on, it's okay to keep your knees bent a little bit, but work on getting your chest and your abdomen towards your thighs without trying to round your back. So trying to elongate your spine. Maybe your palms can reach your feet. Use the leverage of your feet. Keep elongating the spine, looking forward, getting your chest and your abdomen on your thighs. And once you have it, maybe you can bind your arms in front of your feet, and then you can release your head. Paschimottanasana is, Paschim is west in Sanskrit. So we are stretching the west side, that is the back side of the body in this pose. Stay here, keep breathing. And you can release. And let's go into Purvottanasana. So place your feet flat. Raise your hips up. First come into a tabletop position and then try to straighten your legs. Keep your feet flat. Keep your hips raised. And this is Purvottanasana. And you can release. And let's do a Vinyasa. facing dog.
Downward facing dog.
Now let's do the Prasarita Padottanasana series. So take your feet wide, your big toes are slightly turned in, palms on your waist with a concave back, start folding forward until maybe your palms can come on the ground in line with your feet. Maybe your head can come down. You can stay here, or if you have the headstand, maybe you can straddle press into the tripod headstand. Stay here for as long as you feel comfortable. Make sure you're breathing. And when you're ready, you can come in. And let's come into some seated forward folds now. For the first forward fold, extend your right leg out, bend your left leg, place the left leg, so maybe I'll show it this way. The left foot is by the inner right thigh. We are coming into Janu Shirshasana. Inhale, raise your arms up, and as you exhale, work on folding over this right leg. Maybe you can get the bind. Work on deepening this forward fold. Keep stretching the spine and breathe. And you can release. And let's do the other side. So take the left leg in front. Right leg is bent. Inhale, raise your arms up. And as you exhale, fold over your left leg. Keep breathing. And you can release. Now let's do Triangle Mukha Ekapada Paschimottanasana. So bend your left knee. Your left heel is on the outside of the hip. If this is difficult to sit this way, feel free to place a block under your left hip and then fold forward over your right leg. Stay here for a few breaths. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. And let's do the other side. So take your left leg in front, right leg is bent. Inhale, raise your arms up, and as you exhale, fold over the left leg. Keep breathing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Let's do another forward fold, Ardha Baddha Paschimottanasana. If you have lotus in your practice, you can place your left foot in lotus. If it is not, you can just go into the figure 4. Do what feels good for you today. Inhale, raise your arms up, and as you exhale, try to grab your big toe with your left arm and then try to fold over your right leg. Keep breathing. Stay in the pose. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. And let's do the other side. So the right leg comes in lotus or in figure 4. If it's in lotus, and if you want to go for the bind, try to twist towards the right. Grab the right big toe with your right palm and then fold over the left leg.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1,
and release. And let's do another forward fold. This is the Kraunachasana. So bend the left knee, again the left heel is on the outside of the hip. Bend the right foot, grab the right foot with both your feet, both your palms, and work on moving the spine and this right thigh towards each other. Keep looking at your toes. Make sure there is no rounding of the back or you're not falling back too much. Keep the spine nice and long and work on pulling this right knee towards your chest. Keep breathing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. And let's do the other side. So bend your right knee. Place your left foot flat. Make sure you're sitting straight. Grab your left heel. Keep lifting your chest up and pulling your left knee into your chest. Gazes at your left foot. Stay in the pose. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you can release. Now let's get into Navasana or the boat pose. So it's okay to keep your palms behind your knees and keep your feet this way. But if you're able to get the balance, straighten your legs, keep your chest lifted, have your palms by your sides, and keep breathing. Stay in the pose. And maybe you can release. Let's do another variation. With your peace fingers, grab your big toes and then straighten your legs and stay here. Stay in the pose. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you can release. And let's go into Vinyasa. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now let's get our legs in front again. And let's get ready for the Marichyasana series. So place your right leg straight out in front. Left foot is by your hips. There's arm's distance between your left foot and your right thigh. And as we inhale, work on going as low as possible. Try to bind as low as possible on this left leg, because the lower you go, the easier it is to bind. This surface area is more, whereas if you go lower, this surface area, this circumference is less and it's easier. Stay here.
Marichyasana 1. Keep breathing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1,
and release. And let's do the other side. So take your left leg in front, right leg is bent, lean forward, as if you're trying to grab something in front, and then maybe you can bind your arms and then walk on folding over your left leg. Stay in the pose.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1,
and release. And let's do Marichyasana 3. So inhale, raise your arms up, and as you exhale, try to get your entire torso on the outside of this right knee. Try to get your right shoulder on the outside of the left knee. Make sure your spine is erect. And with every inhalation, extend the spine up. And with every exhalation, deepen the twist. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. And let's do the other side. So the left foot is by your hip. Inhale, raise your arms up, and as you exhale, get your left shoulder on the outside of the right knee. Spine is nice and long. And keep breathing. With every inhalation, extend the spine up, and with every exhalation, deepen the twist. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. And let's option here to go into the supported headstand if you like, and do any variations. If you don't have the headstand in your practice, you could go against the wall and try closer to the wall. Keep breathing. You can do any variations of the legs if you like. Maybe have a split. Maybe rotate the legs. Maybe rotate the legs the other way. Stay for as long as it's comfortable for you. And once you're ready, come down slowly and stay in with your head down in the rabbit pose for a few seconds. And you can release. And let's do a vinyasa. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now let's step forward and come into Pashasana. So with both the knees, both the legs together, we are going to twist towards the left. Option to bind here. Feel free to use a strap, or maybe we can go into some arm balances. So we can do side crow or Parshva Bakhasana. Keep looking forward, keep leaning forward, stack your hips. maybe your feet will come off, and keep breathing. And you can release. And let's do the other side. So inhale and try to bridge this gap. Try to have your shoulder on the outside of this knee. Keep looking forward. Stack your hips up. Keep looking forward. Keep bending forward until maybe your legs can come off the ground. Or maybe not. This side is a little bit tough for me. Once you have given your tries, another arm balance that we could try is Titibhasana or the firefly pose. So come into a standing position and bend like this, bend forward and try to get your knees behind your, try to get your shoulders behind your knees. Try to have your feet flat on the mat and your arms flat on the mat, and then just work on sitting, your hips down. Maybe your legs can come off the mat. And you can work on straightening your legs. That is Titibhasana. Another arm balance that we could try, if you have the lotus pose in your practice, we can get into lotus and we can do the pose called Tolasana. So place your palms by your sides and round your back and work on lifting your knees towards your chest. That will automatically make sure that your hips come off the ground. Stay here for as long as you want and then you can release. Now let's grab this left shin and place it between your elbow crease and work on this cradling the baby pose. Try to move your hip back and in. Try getting your knee behind your hip. This is just to get some movement in our hip, and maybe then we can go into compass pose. So try to work on getting your left knee behind your left shoulder. And then work on straightening the left leg. Keep pushing into the left knee with your left shoulder. This is the compass pose or Surya Yantrasana. And you can release. You can try a arm balance here, Bhuja Pidasana. So keep your knee where it is. Keep your palms by your sides and work on lifting your hips and your leg up at the same time. And you can release. And let's do the other side. So grab your right shin and just move it back and forth, trying to get your right knee behind your hip, trying to open the right hip. Now maybe try to get this right knee behind your right shoulder. Grab the right foot with your left palm. Keep moving this right leg back as you straighten the leg and you look towards the left. Keep breathing. And you can release. And let's try the Bhuja Pidasana. Ekapada Bhuja Pidasana. Try to get your hips and your leg off the mat. And you can release. Another cool arm balancing pose is Ekapada Kaundiyasana, or the EPK 1. So come into a low lunge, and now let's revolve over the right leg. So the right leg is in front. Revolve. Try to take your arms down on the mat. Try to create a shelf for your right thigh, and then keep moving forward as you raise the back leg up and balance. And you can release, and let's do the other side. So get your left leg in front, come into this low lunge. Inhale, raise your arms up, and as you exhale, twist towards the left. Try to create a shelf for this left thigh. And then fold forward as you raise the back leg up, and keep moving forward until both the legs are off. And you can release. And if you want, we can try a few kicks to hand balance here. So let's feel free to be close to a wall. Try to be a little bit away from the wall. Place your palms flat. And we are going to just kick up with one leg. So come into like a down dog, and then place one leg in the front. And inhale, and as you exhale, kick with the back leg. You may take the back leg up, and you're going to push off with the front leg. Once you're up, keep looking at the space between your arms and breathe. Let's do one more try of that. And you can release. And let's come down on our stomachs for some back bending poses. We'll go into Shalabhasana. So have your palms in front. Inhale and raise both your palms and your thighs and your knees up at the same time, as high as you can, and keep breathing. And you can release. Another variation is Makarasana, where you have interlaced your fingers and you have placed them behind your head. So inhale, keep breathing, and you can release. Now bend the right knee and the left knee. Grab your ankles, and as you inhale, you're going to raise your chest as well as your thighs and try to balance on your pubic bone as much as you can. This is Dhanurasana. You can stay here, or maybe you can go side to side. Parshva Dhanurasana. This feels like a lot of fun. And maybe you can go into child's pose. Now another option for you is to get into Supta Virasana. So if you can sit with your heels by your sides, your hips are on the mat. If this feels comfortable, this is Virasana, you can stay here. But if you want to go a little bit deeper, maybe you can lie down, having your knees on the ground, sorry, your elbows on the ground, and then work on getting your entire trunk on the ground and stay here. If this is too much for your ankles, you don't have to do it. You can be in a seated position. But otherwise, let's stay here for a few breaths. Maybe you can grab your opposite elbows above your head and breathe. And you can release, push the ground and come up. And let's do the camel pose. So your knees are about hip distance away. Your tailbone is moving in the front. Keep your tailbone tucked in. Chin is slightly tucked in. Keep opening your chest towards the ceiling. Maybe take one arm back. Maybe take the other arm back. Keep moving the abdomen and the chest in the front. And stay here. Ustrasana or the camel pose. Keep breathing. And you can release. And let's come into a lying down pose. You're going to go into bridge pose. And then maybe the wheel pose. So for the bridge pose, place your feet close to your hips and just work on lifting your hips up as high as possible. Chin is tucked in, shoulders stay on the ground. Keep lifting the hips up as high as possible and breathe. This is Setu Bandhasana or the bridge pose. And you can release. You can repeat the same pose or you can go into Urdhva Dhanurasana or the wheel pose. So place your palms flat by your sides. The fingers are pointing towards your legs. The elbows are moving in towards each other. And we raise our hips up and place our crown of the head on the mat. And then work on straightening the legs, moving the legs a little bit closer, moving the chest out towards your elbows and stay here. And you can release. And let's get ready for the winding down poses. So let's come into a seated position. Let's do a pose called Bharadwajasana. So you can bend your right knee, and then if possible, if you have the half lotus, maybe you can take the left foot in half lotus. Make sure your spine is nice and long. Inhale, raise your arms up, and as you exhale, twist to the left. Try to bind the left big toe if you can. And you can release, and let's do the other side. So bend your left knee, place your right foot in lotus pose. Inhale, raise your arms up, and as you exhale, twist to the right. Bharadwajasana. And you can release. And let's get ready for the pigeon sequence. So place the right shin in front. If it's parallel to the short edge of the mat, it's too intense. You can feel free to grab the right heel towards your hips if you need. Make sure the left leg is straight out in front. Make sure the right hip stays on the mat. And now you can extend the spine and then fold forward. Feel free to grab blocks under your ankle, under your elbows if that feels better. And just breathe. Stay in the pose. And you can come up and take the back leg and place this left foot on the outside of the right knee. We are into Ardha Matsyendrasana. Inhale, raise the arms up, and as you exhale, twist to the left. Now let's go into Gomukhasana. So stack the knees up, get the feet in closer to your body. And since the left leg is on top, let's take the right arm on top. Externally rotate the left arm and maybe bind your arms behind you and stay in Gomukhasana or the cow face pose. And now keep your feet where they are. Just raise your hips up and keep revolving until you come back to the front of the mat. So what we did is, now we have the other leg on top. So we have the right leg on top. So take the left arm on top. Externally rotate the right arm and bind the palms. Feel free to use a strap here if you need. Keep breathing. And you can release. Now place this left foot flat on the mat. Inhale, raise your arms up, and as you exhale, twist to the right. Keep breathing. And you can release. And we can place this left shin flat and do the pigeon on the other side. So the right leg is extended back. Again, if this shin parallel is too much, feel free to grab it a little bit closer to your hip. Work on extension of the spine. Make sure the left hip is on the mat. And then you can release your trunk towards the mat and stay here. And you can release. And if you have Sarvangasana in your practice, and if you want to do that, you could do that, or else you can just raise your legs against the wall and do Viparit Karni. So I'm going to do Sarvangasana. So lie down on the mat. Inhale, raise your arms up. Raise your legs up. Keep your legs straight. Try to align your heels, hips and your shoulders in line. Keep your legs as straight as you can. Maybe take your legs down above your head in Halasana or the plow pose. Interlace your fingers and stretch them on the opposite side of the legs. Maybe go into Karnapidasana, where you bend your knees and take the knees towards the mat. And stay here for a few breaths. And you can release. And you can go into the fish pose if you like. So come on your elbows, bend back and place your crown of the head on the mat. Raise your legs up. This is Uttana Padasana or the flying fish pose. And you can release. And let's do a spinal twist here. So lift your hips up, take them slightly to the left, extend your right leg out, bend your left knee and take it towards the right. Look at your left arm. Keep breathing. And you can release. And let's do the other side. So raise your hips up, take them slightly to the right, extend your left leg out, bend your right knee and take it to the left. And breathe. And you can release. And let's do the Anand Balasana or the happy baby pose. Bend the knees, hold the feet on the outside and pull the knees in towards the mat. Keep your chin tucked in and relax. And you can release and come to a seated position. If you have the lotus pose in your practice, let's get into lotus. If you don't, you can just sit into Sukhasana or the cross-legged position, the crisscross position. Place your palms in your lap. Close your eyes and let's tune in, just like we did at the beginning of the session. Let's inhale and chant the mantra Om. Inhale. Now if you have the bind in the lotus, you can do that and maybe fold forward for a few seconds. And you can release. And let's get into Shavasana. So with your feet hip distance wide, your palms by your side, palms facing up, close your eyes and tune in. Relax your toes and your feet. Relax your legs, your hips, your abdomen, your trunk. Relax your shoulders and your neck. Relax your arms and your palms. Relax all the facial muscles. Let go of anything that does not serve you in this moment. Just surrender to this present beautiful moment. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Rock your head gently side to side. Turn on to one side, whichever is comfortable. Keep your eyes closed. Push the mat with your top arm. Come to a comfortable cross-legged position. Fold your palms by your sternum. Bow your head. Honoring the light and beauty within yourself. Namaste. Thank you for joining me today.